Behind me is my old Allis-Chalmers WD-45. This is like a 53 or 54. I don't know, I looked up the serial number at one point and then I forgot. But anyway, today we're going to be fixing some odds and ends on this. You can see we're missing most of the battery box here. This toolbox still rotted out. So I've got some new sheet metal parts to put on this, and the main problem that we're going to be working on here is the fact that this thing has an electrical gremlin in that it doesn't seem to want to charge. And I've learned on old tractors where the electrical system is super simple, a lot of the time you're really better off just gutting everything and starting over, and this has probably been working for many years, so it's not like it really owes the world anything. So let's see what we can do to get this thing cleaned up and a little more functional. I've only had 1 cup of coffee so far, so I guess we'll start with what's easiest. There's all sorts of earthly treasures in this old toolbox. Let's see, we got a Dr. Pepper can, I'm guessing. Wow, look at that. That's the old school kind of can. This thing's probably older than I am. We also have this, you know, if you ever get bored and want to weld it onto something. Multi-dollar hitch pin with at least 3 more uses. And a good old grade 8 shear bolt for something or other. And this pin, which is still perfectly functional as a bolt. Well, the first ½ inch of it is. Alright, let's see what we got here. Now these are bolts that probably haven't moved since the 1950s. So this... oh, that's what I hate about working on old stuff. This is a classic case of the bolt is one size and the nut is the other. The reason why they used to do this is so if you had one set of wrenches, you put a bigger one, in this case on the nut, and a smaller one on the head of the bolt. But it's frustrating because it means you need, you know, you gotta find 2 sockets instead of 1. It's an older practice, alright. General Motors still did this like into the late 80s. That old red Chevy truck I had was built this way. It was really frustrating to take it apart. But I think most manufacturers got away from it beforehand. But of course, in the 1950s, this was just the way everything was, well, a lot of things at least were built. Oh! Yeah, alright. Now this is gonna be a battle. Not bad for 60 years or whatever. Alright, so I found some bolts that'll probably work, and now we're gonna find out if that reproduction toolbox I bought fits. You know, one of, if not the biggest downsides working on old equipment like this is everything is really time consuming. You know, I like to say, perhaps someday I will get to fix something on this without the use of a torch, but that's a day I haven't seen yet, and there's a good chance that I never will. And that's okay, because old equipment like this, when it works, it's pretty cheap. So, you know, are you going to spend your time making money and then send it off to some new machinery manufacturer? Oh, these bolts are too short. Or are you going to fix this stuff? Or you can do what I do, which is both. I don't want to use a bolt that's too long, because then it's going to run the risk of scraping on the inside of that tire, which would be bad. You know, one of the best smaller investments I think I ever made in my shop is stocking up on hardware, because it's really nice. You know, this is probably only $3-4 bucks worth of nuts and bolts and such, if that. But having this stuff here, it's not really costing me anything out of pocket today, of course, and it saves me probably an hour round trip driving to the store and parking and finding the bolts and all that good stuff. It's little things like this which can really add up and save some time. Got some lock nuts on there so things are less likely to vibrate loose. Hey, how about that? This toolbox is one of those kind of really ugly reproduction sheet metal parts. I had to paint this thing because the whole thing arrived for the finish. It looks like that. But it's a little stiff. It could use some breaking in. But it really is the little things in life. Cool. Now this battery box is going to be fun. So you can see we're missing an entire side of it. At least we got that Nice bungee cord there holding everything together. Of course, these battery lugs are all loose and slapped out. Now, what's going to be really fun is if I can short this thing out on the bottom of the gas tank, which is right here. What's kind of interesting is the electrical components for this thing. They reside in this little steel box, which it looks like it just slides onto the side of the battery box. I'm sure that's healthy stuff to be working around. So maybe we can... It's not moving. Man, if this takes more than a hammer to fix it, it might be above my skill level. Oh, there we go. I bet the system worked pretty well before 60 years of corrosion. How about that? I bet you guys this is the original sticker from 1950 whatever. That one may or may not be a reproduction. This one looks older. And it's coming soon to a Walmart shelf near you. Let's see what's in here. So this is the tractor's hand clutch. Ugh. Still really stiff. These stamped sheet metal parts, I mean, keep in mind, this is a 1950s technology. We can see the driven discs in the clutch, just two really thin ones. They look fine. There's not too many chunks missing out of them. I think we really have to remove this thing to fully inspectify it though. But wow, look at that. It's the level of quality. This is however many decades old, and it looks like it was just put together last week. I am kind of glad we took this off here though, because you can see this cork gasket, it's not looking so good. So we're gonna scrape that off, being very careful not to knock any chunks into this beautiful thing, and then seal this up and move on. Got some acetone here. Try to clean this up a little bit. Already looking better.